Ever hit send on an invoice, only to realize a second too late there's a typo, a wrong price, or a service you forgot to add? We've all been there. That sinking feeling in your stomach, wondering if you have to start from scratch. Well, if you're using ServiceM8, you can breathe a massive sigh of relief because editing an invoice is surprisingly straightforward, even after it's been issued. Today, we're diving deep into the nitty-gritty of how to flawlessly edit an invoice in ServiceM8. We're not just talking about minor tweaks. We'll cover everything from correcting line items and adjusting quantities to adding new services, changing payment terms, and even addressing tax discrepancies. By the end of this video, you'll be an invoice editing pro, able to fix any mistake with confidence and maintain that professional image your business deserves. Let's set the scene. You've completed a fantastic job for a client, generated the invoice in ServiceM8, and maybe even sent it off. Then, the phone rings. Your client points out they were charged for 3 hours of labor instead of 2. Or perhaps you just remembered to add the urgent call-out fee. Panic not. ServiceM8 is designed to be flexible. The first crucial step, and this is important, is to locate the invoice you need to edit. You can do this in a couple of ways within ServiceM8. The most common method is to navigate to the Jobs section, find the specific job the invoice relates to, and then look for the Invoices tab. Alternatively, if you know the invoice number or the client's name, you can use the search bar at the top of your ServiceM8 dashboard. Once you've found the correct invoice, click on it to open its details. Now, here's where the magic begins. Once you're viewing the invoice, you'll notice an Edit button, usually prominently displayed. Click this button, and ServiceM8 will take you into the invoice editing interface. It will look very similar to when you first created the invoice, but with all the existing details pre-populated. Let's break down the most common edits you might need to make. Correcting line items. This is perhaps the most frequent adjustment. Maybe you entered the wrong quantity of a part, or the description of a service needs refining. To edit an existing line item, simply click on the specific line. You'll then be able to modify the description, quantity, unit price, and even the tax rate applied to that particular item. Make your changes and move on. It's that simple. Adding new line items. Forgot to bill for an extra widget or an unexpected service call? No problem. At the bottom of your line items, you'll see an option to add line item. Click this, and you can add a new product, service, or even a custom item with its own description, quantity, unit price, and tax settings. ServiceM8 will automatically recalculate the invoice total as you add or remove items. Removing line items. If you accidentally added something, or a client decided against a particular service, you can easily remove it. Each line item usually has a small X or a trash can icon next to it. Clicking this will remove the line item from the invoice. Again, the total will adjust automatically. Adjusting payment terms or due dates. Sometimes you need to give a client more time to pay, or perhaps you've agreed on different payment terms. In the invoice editing screen, look for the section related to payment terms and due dates. You can modify these fields to reflect the new agreement. This is crucial for maintaining good client relationships and ensuring timely payments. Applying discounts or surcharges. Did you promise a discount for a loyal customer? Or do you need to add a surcharge for an expedited service? ServiceM8 allows you to add a discount percentage or a fixed amount directly to the invoice. Similarly, you can add surcharges. This flexibility helps you accurately reflect the final agreed-upon cost. Changing the client details. While less common after an invoice has been sent, sometimes you might need to update the client's billing address or even the client entirely if there was an error in selection. Be cautious with this, especially if the invoice has already been sent, as it might confuse your client. However, the option is there if absolutely necessary. Handling tax discrepancies. Tax can be tricky, and mistakes happen. If you need to adjust the tax rate for the entire invoice, or if a specific item had the wrong tax applied, you can usually modify these settings within the invoice editing interface. ServiceM8 is designed to handle various tax scenarios, so you should be able to correct any miscalculations. Always double-check your tax settings. Adding notes or attachments. Sometimes, an invoice needs a bit more context. You might want to add a note explaining a particular charge or attach a supporting document like a warranty certificate or a before and after photo. ServiceM8 allows you to add internal notes, visible only to your team, and client-facing notes. You can also attach files, which can be incredibly helpful for transparency and record-keeping. Once you've made all your necessary edits, the final and most important step is to save or update the invoice. This button is usually at the bottom or top of the editing screen. Once you click it, ServiceM8 will process your changes. Now, a critical question. What happens after you edit an invoice that's already been sent? ServiceM8 is smart. If you've already sent the invoice to your client, ServiceM8 will usually prompt you to resend the updated version. This is excellent practice as it ensures your client always has the most accurate and up-to-date invoice. You don't want them paying based on an old, incorrect version. When resending, you can often add a note explaining the changes you've made, which further improves transparency and client communication. A word of caution. While ServiceM8 makes editing invoices incredibly easy, it's always best to get it right the first time. Double-checking your work before issuing an invoice can save you time and potential headaches down the line. However, knowing you have the flexibility to correct mistakes is a huge advantage. Think of it this way. ServiceM8 isn't just about creating invoices. It's about managing your entire job workflow, and that includes ensuring your financial documents are precise. Being able to quickly and efficiently edit an invoice means you can maintain professionalism, avoid awkward conversations with clients, and ensure you're always accurately compensated for your hard work. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.